so I don't remember what happened first. If I heard my mom's voice first, I think I heard my mom's voice first, and then all of that came in, and I had to come right in, like right away, and share about this because it was probably the most intense experience I've ever had, including in journeys. But again, I keep saying that, so it's like I don't think there's like more or less because there's a lot of intense experiences, but this one definitely was like up there. And it was during my sleep. So the first how it started by my mom saying the names of a few of her kids. So she said Elka, she said Hanale, which is me. She said David, and then she said Ofra, which is her her old name because she changed her name at some point in life. And when she said Ofra, it was like there was like an echo, and it was like very deep and very sad, and I could feel the lostness of that, like how she lost herself. She literally lost herself, you know, because she tried to change who she is. And the thing is that when we come here, we come with a name, we come with a body, we come with, like, we choose all of these things, our soul, our higher selves are choosing all of these things before we come here. And so she came, and then she changed her name, so she moved away from what she chose, her soul, so to try to be someone else. So that's bring up a lot of lack of authenticity, and there's a lot of lostness in it, a lot of sorrow, a lot of suffering that she's experiencing. And I could just feel how she keeps on projecting it outward, and she's so sad about her kids leaving her, but she left herself before. I have chills. She left herself before. Oh gosh, I have chills. She left herself before all of the kids left her. Now, and that's when I'm like, am I supposed to, what, like, okay, so it's like there's a part of me that says, okay, what am I supposed to do about it? But then what was coming up at that moment when I could feel that and hear that was a lot of compassion towards her, which was very hard for me to do for so long because I wanted her to be my mom. But it's so weird. I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like in some way, on a soul level, I feel like I'm here to support her and help her on a soul level. So it's like weird. It's like really, and I feel like there's a lot of that happening right now because there's a lot of the younger generation, the newer souls. It's not newer on Earth in this lifetime, in this timeline, but they're actually older. So that's what I'm getting right now. But anyways, I heard this spirit, like this women's voice. She was doing some light language, like, and I could feel the movement around my body. And then she was saying, give me your phone. And I was like, I wasn't sure that I was hearing right. So I was like, can you speak a little louder? I can't hear you. She said, can you give me your phone? And I was like, what? My phone? Why do you need my phone? And then she didn't say it anymore, which makes sense to me why she needed my phone, because what came up for me yesterday was that my phone and our phone in general is holding a lot of energy, and that energy can also be like I don't want to say like negative energy, because I don't like to use the word negative energy. I don't see it like that, but it's just like our phone holds a lot of low, very, very, very low vibration, and it's like portals. So what happens is that when we, when we look on the internet, when we watch the news, when we going into, you know, social media, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. So like those things are portals, and it's like that energy. It's going into your phone, and then it goes into your body, it goes into your home, it goes into your space. So it made sense to me, because that what kind of came up to me yesterday. She was asking me to give her my phone, and at the time, I think she just kind of did whatever she needed to do. But I guess about that, it's really, really important to make sure that we're clearing the energy from our devices, not just our phones, but also our laptops, our computers, our iPads, whatever device that we're holding, because it collects a lot of energies, and it's kind of sends it out, So yeah, so basically what happened then is, I can't even, it's just like so freaking, like, it was such high vibration. She started working on me, and then I could feel like a intense, strong white line going into my sacral chakra. It was like it was a really, really intense, like powerful energy. And I was noticing my brain having this like stories, and having this this fear coming up, right? And this fear was, who is she? Why is she? Who is she? What is she doing? What if she's bad? What if she's satanic, right? That's like the fear of my brain. And it's like my brain was so out of it. Like, it's like the thought was very weak in the background. And I was just, with that together, it's like my higher self totally took over my body, and I was just surrendering to it, but I was noticing my brain still doing its thing in the background. And it's weird, because in reality, I'm asleep. If you look at me from the outside, I'm like dead sleep. But in my experience, in this experience, I was moving my body. I was like literally coming up, and I was, I was kind of coming up, moving, and I was like doing this motion with my hands, like with the energy. I was kind of like going like this, and I saw like this wolf. I saw this wolf. And then I started hearing a lot of voices of people. I don't really, really remember the voices exactly, but the message was received. And the message was, it's all the voices of people that's disempowering me, trying to make me small. I have chills. Trying to make me small, telling me I can't do stuff, telling me I cannot do this. Oh, you shouldn't be doing this, you should be doing that. Ah, I have chills. I could hear all of this traumas and all of this like voices of people and opinions and all of this thing that were throwing out at me, like over the years, consciously and unconsciously, to me personally, but also in the collective, because we were picking so many things from the collective. So many things. We're picking so many freaking things. And a lot of the things that we're experiencing, a lot of the things that we're taking on, most of the things that we're taking on, really, I think all of the things that we're taking on, but not all of them. Most of the things that we're taking on, it didn't start with us. And it's not even ours, but it's putting onto us. And when I say it's not even ours, I think there's this really important thing, and like something that's happening in the spiritual communities and like the healing world, is that people say, this is not mine, it doesn't belong to me, and they take they people tend to remove responsibility or remove ownership from that, but it's really important to like understand that it didn't start with you and it was put onto you, but at the same time it's your responsibility to work with it. And at the end of the day, it's not something that someone else did to you, because that's very victim consciousness. It's more like we as species, we've been co-creating this together for a very, very, very long time. So yes, that thing that someone else projected onto me, that someone else putting on me, telling me that I can do it, it's also because they have a story, they have the same thing from someone else, and it's not a very specific person, it's in the collective. We've all been doing this together. We've all been co-creating this together, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it happened in this lifetime. And I know it may sound a little bit out there for some people, but if you're sticking with this and if you're resonating with this, if you're like really feeling this in your body, like how does it feel in your body, what I'm saying? And your mind may try to say like, okay, this is woo-woo, this is all the stuff, all the programming, and it's okay if you don't resonate with it. But I do invite you to stay open and to really feel in your body for yourself, instead of trying to listen to other people or me in this case, and be like, okay, she knows what she's talking about because she's speaking this way or whatever. But I want you to really close your eyes and really feel in your body, how does it feel to you? Instead of like giving your power away, in other words. Meaning you have the power of discernment. You can discern if something sounds good to you or not, if something feels true for you or not, and that's okay. So yeah, this thing that we've been doing for so long, we've been co-creating it for so long, there's a very important piece about the, like, taking ownership on that. And you, instead of being in a victim consciousness and saying like, okay, these people putting onto me, they put it onto me, right? They put it onto me, I'm not, like, I didn't do it. It's other people put it on to me, and I'm just like basically a victim. And so that's one perspective. There's so many perspectives, and I feel like there's so many things that like, it's just like, so we make it so black or white. And there's so much more, there's so much more there's so many more perspectives, and there's so many like nuances and so many layers and so many like varieties and so many like angles, and so I want to invite you to open your mind to and your heart to feel this way or think this way, right? So the victim consciousness, and then on the other hand, there's a place where, okay, yeah, all of these things were putting onto me and they're not mine, but I have a choice, and I have the sovereign power, authentic power within me to discern, to say, okay, this is not, instead of just taking it on and just like letting it be like your identity or your story. But you have the power, as a powerful being, you have a power to discern, and just, I literally see the image of like, things are coming through, and like you have the power to do this, to like move it out of the way. This is a programming. And it's not like it's something that happens overnight. It's something that, for me, it took me a long time to realize this. And like, I also want to say, like, there is no bad or good, there's no wrong or right. There is just wherever you're at on your journey, and just kind of follow where your soul is guiding you. What does that even mean? Follow when your soul is guiding you. I think it means to just kind of stay open to things to come through, to stay open to receive. And it's not like something that we necessarily do with our minds. It's more an energetic thing. It's more a feeling thing. And the problem with that is in our society, this is our nature, right? Our nature is to have this intuitive ability. Our nature, our inherent nature is to have this intuitive abilities, to have that sensing, that feeling. And what happened in this world that we came here in this planet is that we got disconnected from it. We got disconnected from our truth. We got disconnected from the natural way. So the natural way is that you learn how to sense and feel and how to learn how to work with the energy. And when I say listen and see and sense and feel, it's not necessarily seeing with your own eyes and with your physical eyes and your physical ears. It's more like on a more expanded way, like more like the unseen seeing. I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or what your thoughts about this. I would love to know. So yeah, there's a place where we as humans, we try to, because of where we've gotten as humanity, and there's so much like disconnection from our truth, from our like nature, then what happens is that we're trying with our brain to figure it out. We're trying with our brain to do the right thing. We're trying with our brain to make it right? And the thing with the brain, I don't want to, like, of course, I don't want to demonize the brain. And the brain is really important. The mind is really important. Once we learn how to like connect the mind with the heart, with the body, it's really, really important tool. And once we know how to work with it there and create harmony and balance within ourselves, then that's when the shift. But the problem in our society is that we let our mind to be so dominant, and it's like it's so out of balance with the body and the heart, and it's just, they all have to be balanced, okay? To have that our harmony, to be able to be in that truth, to be in that remembrance place. I don't know. I'm wondering about that because that didn't quite land for me, but I wonder. It's just like things that are coming through right now, but I'm like kind of like noticing myself being skeptical about that specific part. Like, is it the only way? Not sure. Probably, I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But yeah, I guess I would like to invite you to discern for yourself. How does it feel for you? Because I have a feeling that it may not be the only way. Like it's not such black or white, and there's other perspective, there's other ways, but there is something that we've been doing as humans, that we try to figure it out with our brain, and this thing that I'm talking about has nothing to do with trying to figure it out and trying to work for it. It's a feeling sense. It's like opening right here in your heart, in your body, and sensing the energy. So you could like literally try to start with moving your hands like this and see if you can feel the energies. Like, what's the natural flow of your hand in the energy field? And same thing with your body. If you move your body in a certain way, like what is the natural flow of your body, like where your body wants to move? This is how you play with energy. And this is how you are opening up to listen to energies, to listen to what's coming through. So, and it's very subtle. So that's the thing. It's very subtle, and the mind is very like black or white, and it's a practice. So I just want to put it there, that it's not something that can be shifted overnight. It's like a practice. So back to the experience. So I could feel this intense, and it lasted for a long time. And I remember just like going like, and I was crying and I was like moving. I was doing these motions with my hands, like working with the energy as well. And it was like a co-creation of like what was happening at that moment. And I obviously received that from an ascended master. What came to me was Isis, but I'm still not. It's like I'm still in this place where I'm like learning to trust my intuition, and um, it's really hard to do it when you've been told for so long that it's wrong and that what you're feeling is wrong. And again, like, as a society, it's such a deep wound in our society, so it's so hard for me to trust myself. And I do want to share it with you all because I think it's important. I think a lot of, like, this is where I'm at on my journey, and that's okay. And it's important for me to be vulnerable and share these parts of where I'm at, because it's like I can still feel something, but it's like I'm not 100% sure, because I'm still practicing of what does it mean for me to trust my intuition and what I receive and what's coming through. But one thing I do know about that, and I want to share this because it may be helpful for you too, is because I definitely had some times when I had more like illusions. So like having the discernment of what is illusion and what's real comes down to feeling, right? So when something is coming through for me and I'm not sure if it's true or not, I'm tuning in with my body and I'm asking, how does it feel? Does that feel true? And then usually your body's gonna like show you that it's true. So I mean, I work with the body a lot, with the physical body, because this is our vessel that we have in this lifetime that has such intelligence, but it's also such an amazing guide for us. Everything that we want to know, when we want to have a confirmation about, it's within our body. That's to me, that's where I'm feeling into what, if something feels right. So and it takes me like longer sometimes, but like sometimes if I really tune in and really feel how it feels in my body, is that this, or that is that this? And then when I keep asking questions, and when the question is right, I can feel like a huge chills in my body. So I don't know if you ever felt this like huge chills. To me, usually it's like a confirmation. It's a confirmation that, oh yeah, that feels right. That feels right, right? So I guess I want to put it out there because I want you to be open to it and invite that in and have that communication with your body, because again, as a society, got so disconnected from our body, and the feeling and the intuition, it's in our body, it's not in our mind. That I can say for sure. So yeah, in this experience, then I could feel a lot of energy in my sacral chakra. It was like almost like a powerful white laser going into my sacral chakra, as this was moving through me. And then at the end, I felt like some energy on my left hip, like it was kind of painful. And I was just like remembering like screaming and yelling and crying and like saying ouch, like and just kind of like hearing the voices of the people and saying and responding back to the people like, no, you're not gonna fucking tell me what to do. Like, no, I don't want to do this. I could feel myself doing all of that. But it's so funny because in reality, if you would look at me from the outside, I was asleep. I was dead sleep. But in my experience, I was moving, because my partner is next to me. He's next to me, and I could hear him snoring in the background. And if I was screaming and yelling, no way he would stay asleep, right? But this is how cool it is. Like, to experience the different dimensions and how the experience, I could feel it in my physical body. But again, it's like those things are just bigger than the brain. Like the brain can't really comprehend and understand that because it's just bigger. It's not in the brain. You're not going to find the answers for that in the brain. It's in the energy. It's out there, you know. So yeah. Yeah, so then it was so sweet and so nice because then she put on a song. I think it was Backstreet Boys song. I don't know the name of the song. I'm gonna have to look for this song. But I was listening to the song and I was sobbing. I was listening to the song. I was like, oh, this is so nice. It was kind of like a sweet closing ceremony for that. And I could, you know, I listened to the lyrics and there was something, there was a word, and I don't know if it's in the actual song or they added the word. I mean, the song sounded familiar and the Boys came out. But there was a word, there was a sentence, and I don't know if they added it or it was actually in the song. But the sentence of, you are born to, you are born with a perfect match. And it was a lot, it was very comforting for me because I have I don't know, that I guess it's like the wound of abandonment, of the fear of abandonment, but there's always a fear for me that my partner will leave me. And so it was like a confirmation. And yeah, it's just like this, I guess the message around it was to just trust. You can trust that whatever happens in your life, whatever is going on, it's your birthright. You deserve to be loved. You were born to have this experience. And because something I've been experiencing lately is like, yeah, something that came up to me lately is, can life really be that good? Especially like with everything that's happening in the world. I feel like almost like, almost like shame that everything is going so well for me and my life is so like beautiful and magical and blissful and amazing, and I'm really, really grateful for that. But there's also a little bit of shame of like, oh, that's not good. You know, you should, you know, that's not true. That's not possible. Because I was conditioned to think for so many years that this is not possible. That life is a struggle. And it's funny because me and my partner, we went on a walk yesterday and we were talking about it. And what came up was like, he said something around like, it's hard to believe that life can be so easy and so good and so like he said easy, like in flow. And what came up to me then was like, oh yeah, it's interesting because I feel like we've been so conditioned to believe otherwise. And the truth of nature, of us as human beings, the truth of the nature is that life can go in flow. But the thing is that we have so many traumas and so many trapped emotions that we store in our physical body that is literally blocking from that flow. So there's a flow of energy that's always flowing. So if you do with your hands again, the flow of energy is here. It's flowing. There's always a flow, right? But then inside of our bodies, there's stuckness of energy. And it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with us. There's something bad with us. It just means we have a human experience, and that's what we signed up for, and that's what we all get in this experience. And and we have the choice to bring it back into balance, to help the energy go back from a place of stuckness and trauma to a place of flow. So we have the choice to do it, and the thing that happens is that within us there's also energy. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. Everything. Especially, if you look at nature, if you look at food, if you look at animals, if you look at us, if you go like this with your hands, and then what do you feel? What do you feel in your hands? This is energy. The thing that you're feeling, it's energy. And so our bodies starts from energy. Even our physical bodies, right? If you take a microscope and you go into your hand, like deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, there's no end. So it just shows like there's limitless. It's energy too. Our physical body is energy too, but it's just more dense. It's very, very dense. So that's why it's physical. And then there's layers, right? There's like layers of the energy. There's more dense and there's more light, right? So there's difference. So the same thing that happens with emotions too. And I don't want to go into that. I'll talk about it another time. But what I want to say is that within our body, there's energy that's flowing. And whenever we don't have the flow of life that we want to have, the flow that is the nature of the universe, it's because there's stuck energy within us. Oh, it just came through for me. It's just like so good. It's so good. I love speaking. So this is actually the first video I'm just, I don't know what I'm going to be talking about, but it's just kind of coming through. So I'm doing a little practice, and you like happen to be here and listen to it. But because I feel like, with my YouTube videos, I was always like try to make it a certain way and like have a certain topic and talk about it in a certain way. And that's kind of like also what stopped me from doing that. So like I'm trying to step into something new, and it's interesting because I had this process about it yesterday. So it's working faster than you would think. But so yeah, the flow of energy within our body. So our body starts with energy, like we said, and then there's the energy centers. So there's the 7 main chakras, which you probably heard about, and I'm talking about it a lot on this channel. So if you are interested in this topic, make sure to subscribe to this channel. So the chakras are the energy centers. There's the 7 main ones, but we have way more than 7. Okay, so that's the flow of energy. So a lot of times we have imbalance and blockages and stuckness within our chakras, within our energy centers. And that will cause unbalance. Like it's going to keep us from the flow of life, that this flow that I'm talking about, that's available everywhere, that is here, right? So within, so without, I don't know how to say this sentence. I don't even know all this like fancy sentences, but there's a sentence in the spirituality that says, as within, so without, right? So yeah, that's the sentence. So there is a place where what's happening in humanity right now is that there's so much trauma, there's so much darkness, there's so much pain, there's so much grief, there's so much unfelt emotions. And what we're working on right now on a bigger level as human species together, it's not something you do alone, it's a together thing, is we aligning, like that's literally the image that I have. Like, so there's all this stuckness, all this trauma from the sides, and it comes together. And if you're on YouTube, like I want you to like watch the video, because you'll see that my hand motion, it comes together like this, and it's realigning. And of course, it's going to take many, many, many years to get to that place, right? But I mean, that's where we're going. That's where we're in this process already. Like we're in the middle of this process, and this part of this process that's happening, this realignment is what's causing all this insanity on Earth, right? So, I have chills. So, the same process is happening within us. As without, so within. So it's all mirrors. Everything that happens out there happens in there too, within us, right? Stick with me. I know it's deep, but when we talk about the chakras, that's the energy centers, and there's stuckness and there's traumas, and we lost parts of ourselves in the universe. We have soul fragments all over the world. We lost parts of our souls because of all the traumas. That it's not only from this lifetime. It goes way back. It goes way back. It goes generations and generations and generations and generations, thousands of generations. It goes thousands of past lives. You think it's your first time here? No, you've been here for a long, long, long time. We've been doing this thing for so freaking long. So there's all of these lost parts of us that we lost in the way of being humans and in this experience. And to find that flow that we want to have in life, to find that thing that's already here but we don't feel it within us, is to bring all of these parts together and do this exact same motion, coming together and realigning, aligning our chakras. And when we align our chakras, our energy body, our system, we are open vessel to receive. We are open to share our gifts with the world. We are in our authentic power. We are in our truth. We are in our purpose. And then from that place, when we have that, we can share that with the world. And it's not like you have to get to that place in order to do it. No. No, I started doing this way before I got to this place. But it's only when I started to realize, like, okay, I have this pull of working with the chakras, for example, for me. I have this pull, and then I got into it, and I got into it, and I got into it. I got more curious about it. And then I started learning about it. And then I'm noticing, there was a point I was noticing it was just coming through for me. It was just coming through. And the energy healing, it just came through. It was activated in me. It was a remembrance process. It wasn't anything new to learn. It was a remembrance. My soul knew, and my human mind didn't know I was asleep. And in this process, I was able to come back to my soul. Somehow, my soul and our soul is so powerful. It's so powerful that it knows it's going to lead you to the right places. You just need to listen, to open up. And even if when we're going through something really rough, like a loss of loved ones, or a loss of, like a really intense trauma, abuse, whatever, there is, on a soul level, there is a reason why you're going through this, on a soul level. And I'm not saying, because it's on a soul level, like, let's just, it's okay, and bypass it and not feeling the grief. No, it's not what I'm saying. It's really important to feel those emotions, because feeling those emotions is what's going to keep the flow. Okay, so unfelt emotion, repressed emotion, repressed fear, repressed grief, repressed emotions, unfelt emotions is what's causing the stuckness. It's part of what's causing the stuckness. There's so much trauma in the world, and we haven't been feeling. We haven't been tapping into our feeling, our emotions, to be able to feel the pain, the grief, the rage, the shame, the guilt. We totally bypass it and keep it in the shadow. And what happens when that happens is that we are literally blocking our own energy flow within our body. And there's so much trauma within our body that we've been holding on to. Again, generations, past lives, collective. We're picking a lot from the collective. But it's also something that we're part of, right? Because we came here, we're part of it. We can't say like, this is not mine. Doesn't belong to me. I'm going to look that way because this has nothing to do with me. No, this has something to do with you. Because we've been co-creating it together. And now it's our responsibility to bring ourselves back into alignment if we want to. We don't have to. It's a choice. That's the beautiful thing about it. It's a choice. You don't have to do anything. But if you want to feel a certain way, if you want to have the flow, if you want to realign yourself with your true self, with who you really are, and remember who you really are, then it's a choice for you. You don't have to do it. That's the nice thing about it. You can stay where you're at, and that's okay too. That's okay too. That's really the beautiful thing. There is a free choice. There's a free will. You don't have to do, no one forcing you to do anything. It's a choice. Suffering is a choice. And I know it's really going to be triggering for some people. That, because, I'm going to say it. Because we have this, it's going to be really triggering for some people, but suffering, it's a choice too. And trust me, I was there too. I was there for many years. I was in a victim consciousness for many years. And I want to say that there is, you have the right to feel this way. You have the right to feel this way because what they did to you is really wrong. It's really, really, really wrong. And it's really hard. I get it. It's really, really hard to get out of that place. But if you're willing to look at yourself and go deeper within yourself, there's nothing out there that you're going to find answer. All of the answers that you're seeking, it's inside of you. It's inside of your body. It's inside of your heart. Connect, go in, go deeper. Instead of keep looking out there, oh my God, look at what's happening in the world, it's horrible. Oh my God, they did this to me, they did that to me, I'm struggling over here, I'm struggling over there. You're not going to find the answers out there. It's just going to make it more miserable. Instead, you have to go within. And the things that I'm saying, it's literally everything just coming through. It's really cool. Again, it's the first video I'm doing like this. I would love to get some feedback about that, by the way. So I know it feels very edgy for me to ask, but if you have some feedback about this, let me know in the comments. But it feels really good for me because I feel like it's like the first time that I'm like actually making a video that it's like totally 100% I'm myself. This is me. I'm being vulnerable. I'm sharing like what's coming up, and it feels really good right now. And I think that's the disconnect that my relationship that I had with this work, with being on YouTube, was kind of, I felt like I had to perform, and it's so exhausting, and unconsciously I was like, oh, I don't want, like, there was a resistance, and now it's like, oh, that's the flow I'm talking about, by the way. So the chakras. So this thing that we're doing within, that's what we're going to create, this balance and this alignment within us. And then I'm going to be talking a lot about embodying our higher self. And to me, that process of like bringing our own self inside back into alignment. I'm talking about the chakras because everything starts in the chakras, but there's a lot of different ways to do it. There's not only one way. It's not like, oh, I have to do this. Yeah. There's a lot of ways. There's a lot of angles, a lot of words people use, and that's okay. There's not a lot of, but that same motion is that's it. It's bringing yourself back, bringing all of your parts back into alignment, whatever way, shape, or form that's happening to you, that you choose to take. And that's the path of embodying our higher self. That's the path of being in this energy of abundance. Because abundance, it's not just, I heard Kaya Ra. I really like her. I read her book, The Sophia Code. By the way, that book is so good. It's a huge, huge, huge piece of my journey, that book. So I really recommend, if you feel called, to check it out. You can even check out on YouTube Kaya Ra. She has a lot of interviews with different different podcast interviews and stuff. But anyway, she's amazing, and what she's doing is absolutely really powerful. The work that she's doing here, and yeah, she was talking about abundance consciousness and like wealth consciousness and what it means. It doesn't mean a pile of money. It means a flow. It means this energy of abundance that's here already, and that you are it. So there's nothing for you to pray about. There's nothing for you to, oh, I want to call this in. It's like it's already you, and all we really need to do is just we have to realize that. She talks about it more in depth, and I'm not gonna go too much into it, but I want you to really like connect that with like the realignment of self, and like how that plays out in this place, right? So like whenever there's a flow, this is already you. That energy, that powerful sovereign being, that's already you. There's nothing out there that you need to look for. There's nothing wrong about you. It's just a matter of going in and remembering it. It's just such a scam. It's just such a scam in our society that we need to go out to search for something, to search for peace, to search for wealth, to search for health, to search for joy, to search for blessings. It's such a scam that we need to go out there to look for it. Because the truth is that you're going to find all these things within you. And I'm pretty goddamn sure about it. I have a pretty, like, there's nothing out there. Like, just really go inside. Go inside your body. Go explore. Go get to know yourself. Go get to know all your parts. Go get to know all your triggers. All these triggers are information. They give you information. It's gold. It's gold information. It's showing you where. It's literally like arrows. Arrows. You get triggered, it's an arrow. So I'm not going to get too much into it. I'm going to talk more about these things. I'm like, oh my God, there's so much I could talk about. But if you are feeling called to get to this work, if you are feeling called to really get to know this and kind of work on that realignment within you, I actually am going to do something a little bit different. Instead of just saying, hey, this is what I do and then blah, 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 I want you to really tune in with your body and see how it feels in your body, okay? And you may feel a nudge. You may feel like, oh, this feels like I feel this pull, this like energetic pull. I feel like this could really benefit me. So I can expand myself and share my gifts with the world. This is the way I see it. I see it like a web, right? So I want you to feel if there's an energetic match, if you're feeling like, okay, this is something that I feel the pull. I feel like there's something in my body feels right. And I want you to know that you have the choice to decide if you want to take that call or not. And that's okay. Again, there's no right or wrong. There's no bad or good. It's just a choice. Your mind may tell you some things. Oh, you don't have money for it. Oh, you don't have this, you don't have that. You can't do this, it's not gonna, whatever. And that's okay. And you have the choice. You can listen to your mind. But I want you to really feel into how it feels for you to really work with the chakras, how it feels for you to really going into your body and start having a relationship with all of these parts within you and bringing them back into alignment. To get to know them, to do somatic work, to feel your body, to go into your body, get to know it. The way I do it is I combine energy healing along with somatic guidance. We do inner child work. We're going to past lives. We're going to generational trauma. We're going into guided visualizations, sentence completion. I use Robert Masters' method. I added that too. It's Robert Masters, he's really amazing teacher too. So he's been around for quite some time and I've learned from him, and he's been also a huge part of my journey. So yeah, I went to his training, so I'm using his method too. And so yeah, if you are feeling called to, if you're feeling curious, if there's that nudge in you, that there's that curiosity, I invite you to go to the link in my bio, to go to the link in my description below and to my website, embodiedchakras.com, and there you're gonna have a client application to fill out. And I know my system is kind of outdated a little bit right now, but it's fine for me. It works for me right now. As of now, it's fine for me. And I want you to fill out the form and and then I'll see if it's a good fit for both of us, and then I'll reach out to you. I do online and I do in-person sessions. If you're in Austin, Texas, this is my space. And online, most of the work that I do is online, so I work with people all over the world. And yeah, in this process, it's really about going into the body and reconnect with the body, and of course working with the 7 main chakras as a map. That's a huge part of that's like the base of my practice, working with the chakras. So yeah, so I want to invite you to do that, and I want to thank you all for watching. If you stayed so far, thank you all for watching. And I would really appreciate if you hit the subscribe button and the like, and share it with your friends if that resonated with you. And I just want to ask you, please, to share your gifts with the world and follow your passion, follow your passion, follow your passion. That's where the keys are for you, for everybody. And we all have different keys. And together as a human species, those keys, we're activating each other. So like when you are in your purpose, when you are in your alignment, when you are in authenticity, you're not only you benefit yourself, but you benefit humanity. You benefit all of us. Because again, those keys we're activating each other. I have keys that you don't have. You have keys that I don't have. So there's something really beautiful with that. And so this is why I can't say this enough, and like doing this work is very, 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 very like important to me on a very, very deep level because of that. Because it's literally what we came here to do. And it may not what you came here to do. And again, that's okay. I doubt it. If you stayed this long, I really, really doubt it. So I'm pretty sure if you stayed this far on this video, this is probably what you came here to do too. And when I say came here to do, it's not what I do as a purpose, but it's realigning humanity. Realigning humanity. Thank you.